Wouldn't it be amazing if every time you stepped onto the golf course, you could transform yourself into a putting machine? Now, obviously, I'm not talking about you literally becoming a transformer, although they do make some cool machines for, pretending to putt the golf ball. I'm not even talking about making every putt. What I am talking about is developing a machine-like consistency so that you get the ball rolling in the right direction, on the right line, at the right speed, over and over again, and you have a good chance of making more putts. If you think about it, isn't that what the best professional golfers do? They may have a different style or a different putter or a different stance or a different stroke, but what makes them the best is the fact that all of them have in common that they get the ball rolling rather than skidding or bouncing. They get it on their intended line, and they get it at the right speed so that when it doesn't go in, it's very close to the hole. That's really what putting is all about. Getting the ball rolling on the right line at the right speed so that it has a good chance to go into the hole. And I'm going to help you with that. This is the first in a series of 7 video lessons on how to become a putting machine. Now, today's kind of an introduction. Here's what we're going to do and not going to do in this video series. First thing is, we're not going to tell you that you have to copy my stroke or my style or your favorite professional stroke or style. Putting is very personal. Everybody kind of has their own little unique quirks and style in their strokes. Your vision is different. The way that your eyes work when you're standing beside the ball is different. So I'm not going to make you or force you to have an arcing stroke or a pendulum stroke or any of that. What I am going to do is focus on the things that all great putters have in common that get the ball to roll rather than skid or bounce, that get it on the right line and at the right speed. We'll also talk about the attitude that great putters have, which attitude is a huge part of getting the ball in the hole. So here's what we're going to do to break this down. The next video in the series, we're going to talk about the right kind of putting stroke that gets the ball rolling on line and at the right speed. Then, because the rules of golf say that you have to make a stroke, you can't push the ball, you have to actually swing, there's movement involved. So we'll talk about tempo, and the most important thing in terms of the movement is transition. You've got a backstroke, at some point that has to end and you start a through stroke. The great putters have a very smooth and consistent transition. We're going to talk about how to help you get that and give you some drills to make that happen. Then the fourth part of this series, we're going to talk about choosing the right putter for your style and your stroke. There are there's a multitude of different types of putters out there, but they really all break down into 3 or 4 different basic types. And you need one of those 3 or 4 based on your style of stroke. I'm going to give you some help with that, and you don't have to go switch and buy an expensive putter or anything like that. But it does help if you have a putter that's designed for the type of stroke that you have. Then we'll do a lesson on reading greens. You can't get the ball started on the right line if you can't read the green well enough to know what that line is. I have a lot of friends who are pretty good putters who often ask me to help them read the green and get the line so that they make their putt. So we'll spend a full lesson on that, and I'll give you some techniques that will help you get the ball started on the right line. But between you and the hole, there's slope, and the influence of gravity varies uphill and downhill. We're going to talk about break and speed and how to adjust your putting machine for that and set your putting machine up so that you're on the right break and at the right speed. And we'll talk about how to manage distance control as well. Then the 6th video, or the 6th lesson in this series, we're going to talk about developing a consistent routine. You know, when I go out and get in my car, there's a sequence and a routine that I have to do things in or the car won't start and it won't go into gear. And when I first got this new car that I have, It was different from my previous car. The key system was different. And I had to learn that sequence. It felt a little bit awkward at first. But because I have to do the same thing every time to make it work, it's become natural, and I do it without even thinking about it. Great putters are like that, machine-like, in that they walk out onto the green and they go through the same sequence over and over and over. We're going to help you develop a routine that will make you a machine-like, consistent putter. And then the final lesson in this series is going to talk about the putting attitude, the right mental attitude and mindset for putting. And you may go, wait a minute, John, machines don't have an attitude. They don't think. Exactly. I'm going to give you some keys so that you don't feel the pressure or the thought process of, oh, I really need to make this one to hit the score that I want to make, or oh, I really need to make this one, or I got to get this one closer. I got to do how to tune all of that out and simply have an attitude that helps you get the ball rolling on the right line at the right speed, make the good stroke so that the putt going in takes care of itself. So if the idea of becoming a putting machine, consistently getting the ball rolling in the right direction at the right speed and making more putts, if that idea appeals to you, then please like and subscribe so that you'll be notified every Wednesday when the new videos in this series come out. It's going to take us 7 weeks. It'll be good material, and if you're watching it after the fact, you can do them all in rapid succession. They really do go together, even though they'll stand alone and be helpful individually as well. But if you're interested in that, like, subscribe, put your comments below. If there's something you'd like to know or see about putting that you feel like I'm leaving out, we'll add it in. So here's to you making more putts.